Printable Science presents the 3D printed YouTube studio featuring a universal smartphone holder and stand.
Wait, just like the first video in this series, I know the quality of this vid sucks so bad you still want to cut bait and get out of here as soon as possible. But hold on, I promise things are going to get better real quick. Our first video in this series featured me with a handheld iPhone in our tiny warehouse, which we're slowly converting to studio space. The only illumination we used was some natural light coming from a couple of windows and a single 100-watt bulb from a ceiling fixture. As for sound, we just went with the iPhone's built-in microphone, and, you know, it could be better. These days, of course, YouTube videos made with these kind of production values die on the vine, and I wouldn't be surprised if the original video we made stays under 10 views. Now, if you want to check out that first vid, there's a link to it here. I think that's where it ends up. And let us know what if you think we've improved. One advantage of having made such a lousy first video is that basically any improvement we make is going to make a big difference. The only question was what to do first. Now, popular opinion. Okay, there actually is no popular opinion. There was no opinion at all. In fact, the original vid has only 7 views at this point, and I think about 4 of those were me. Anyway, I decided that the handheld iPhone was the most tragic part of the video, although reading off prompt cards is a close second. So give me a few seconds here and let me take care of this jerky camera movement. There we go. Much better, right? I'll use an iPhone I borrowed to show you the setup. There it is, sitting on a chair, and that's sitting on a bench, and that's about how it looks. But it was a simple solution, really. We designed a 3D camera stand for our smartphone, printed it off on a 3D printer, slapped it together, and voila, no more unprofessional jerky camera movement. Now, this project is a good example of the kind of throwaway thing you can do quickly and easily with a 3D printer. We know this printer stand isn't going to win any awards. In fact, it's pretty feeble, and we have to use a ladder or a chair, as we've done, or a table in order to get the phone high enough, but it is better than just holding the phone in my hand and making it jerk city. Because, or I should say, before you go off and print the stand, you may want to print off the test file we've included first. At Printable Science, we know there's nothing more frustrating than setting up your printer for a long print that takes lots of filament, only to find that a pound of filament and a few hours later, the thing you printed doesn't work or doesn't fit together. So while this isn't a particularly challenging file, it still involves one piece fitting into another, so there's a question of clearance. The test file will take about 12 minutes to print. It was printed in PLA for a 0.4 millimeter nozzle with a 0.2 millimeter Z or Z resolution, 2 perimeters, 3 top and bottom layers, and a 20% infill. You just need to remove the 2 pieces from the bed, and if the smaller part slides into the larger part, then you can print the actual full stand with little worries. Now, the camera stand, which is these 2 larger pieces here, was printed with the same specifications as the test file, and when your printer's finished, you can assemble the 2 pieces and check the fit with a smartphone, such as this. And as you see, there we go. And it's got these stabilizing sort of little pads here that hold the printer level and so that it isn't off balance and stays upside down. Now, if you're going to be setting your camera on a table or stand there where there's not a lot of vibration, then this stand may well serve your purposes just as it is. But we do recommend that you grab a couple of elastic bands, and you can slip those around the two turrets. And I guess I'll shoot some video of me just doing that independently. And then it becomes spring-loaded and holds the camera more firmly. One of Printable Science's design principles is to craft projects that rely as much as possible on only what a 3D printer can produce. So for your purists out there who think that using a rubber band is cheating, we've added a knockout in the top piece of the mount that will allow you to glue in a short length of 1.75 millimeter flexible filament to act as your rubber band. Granted, you don't actually print anything off, but it is 3D printer material, and we hope it'll keep you purists happy. Of course, if you don't already have a roll of flexible filament, buying a roll just so you can preserve the 3D printed character of this thing is pretty crazy. The rubber bands you need will set you back just a few cents, but a roll of flexible filament will probably cost you at least $20. Now, if you're going the flexible filament road, you want to cut a length of filament equal to the width of your smartphone plus the width of the stand plus about ½ an inch or 12 millimeters. We glued in our filament with epoxy with the help of our epoxy workstation, which is a handy project to keep your epoxy tools in order. There's a link to that video here, right? Yes, we'll find out. And once your piece of filament is cut, just epoxy each end into the hole, as we've done in this one here, and on either side of the top clamp, and let it harden. Once the glue has set, you can assemble the mount, slip the loop of flexible filament over the holder in the base, and insert your smartphone. Now, if you're one of our Patreon supporters, you should check out some of the options that are available. You can elect to change the tripod mount screw to a metal nut that can be glued in place, or go for the ultimate in security by inserting a threaded rod coupler for a 1/4 inch thread that you can pick up at most hardware stores. If you know you're never going to need the stabilizing side extensions, you'll be able to get a printer file with just the basic clamp. Okay, so there you go. There's our stand. There's our smartphone in our stand. And we're ready to move on to the next project. If you've got a tripod, this stand also provides you with a tapped hole for a tripod bolt, but don't feel you need to rush out and get a tripod if you don't already have one. This is not our final solution for shooting video with your smartphone camera or video cam. It's just a quick fix so we can move ahead with improvements in other areas. For the next video in this series, we'll be looking at a solution to get rid of these darn cue cards so our videos look less cheesy and more professional. Thanks for watching, and won't you help by becoming an important member of the Printable Science family and making this channel more valuable and successful. YouTube has moved the goalposts again, and videos are no longer evaluated by just the number of views they've had, but by the number of hours they've been watched. So won't you consider watching this and other Printable Science videos while your 3D printer is printing off this project. Now, you can leave comments and questions below. That'll help us to create useful videos and 3D STL files that are printer ready and help you to maximize the power and utility of your 3D printer. Your feedback is very important to us, so please consider leaving a comment. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button. And if you have a moment, won't you show your support by clicking the subscribe button below. If you want to make sure you don't miss our upcoming videos on 3D printing, you'll want to click on the notify bell as well. And please consider supporting Printable Science on Patreon using the link below. Being a Patreon supporter provides you with lots of extras and additional information, as well as going a long way to defray the cost of making these files and videos. Down below, you'll also find a link where you can download a copy of the STL files from Thingiverse so that you can print your own smartphone stand and related files. You can always download a copy of the STL files directly from our website. The latest files and a discussion board on this smartphone stand and the YouTube 3D Printed Studio are available at the PrintableScience.com website, where all the science that fits we print.